This past year, I accidentally became much more minimal in my skincare and beauty routine. I'm going to tell you what happened and all the products I don't use anymore. One of the key things I stopped buying entirely pretty much is foundation. So I have this foundation stick from Merit, and I have this Revlon Longwear, which you see is basically full. I've given up the idea of having like a foundation wardrobe. This year, I just became highly disinterested in owning and trying a lot of different foundations. And I have to really chalk that up to this Merit one in particular being such a good match for my skin tone. I mean, it doesn't look so great right now. I wear shade ochre. This is the Minimalist foundation stick. Once I switched to this, it changed everything for me. I realized I was buying a lot of foundations because I was never quite getting the finish that I wanted. I was never, most importantly, never quite getting the right shade to match my skin. So the biggest unlock, if I had to just say it was one factor, it was finding the right color that always reliably looked good. It's a good shade for my summer versus my winter skin tone, which doesn't vary that much because I'm really careful about the SPF. No more foundation buying, no more foundation wardrobe. I'm just down to this, and when I want a bit more of a matte look and I need long wear, because this is not long wear, I switched to this one, which I use very minimally. Foundations, stop buying them. I've had this bottle now over a year. This I have repurchased a number of times. So it's not that I'm not buying anymore, I'm just not buying multiple foundations. Now in terms of skincare, something I've stopped buying is exfoliant. So salicylic acid, BHA, anything to sort of chemically exfoliate my skin, I haven't needed to use it. And I'm hesitant to mention why right now, but I guess I may as well just spit it out now that we're here. I've switched to using, I've started really regularly using an LED face mask. I use the Current Body one. I did it this morning. And I found that because I use that, I don't have like flaky skin as much that needs to be exfoliated. I feel like I was in a bit of a cycle of needing it all the time. I'm pretty confident in saying that the LED mask, while it doesn't really make me look 10 years younger, definitely has cured my dry skin, or has dramatically helped with my dry skin. So yeah, I used to love Paula's Choice BHA. I haven't repurchased it at all this year since I started wearing the LED mask. Another thing I used to really love was expensive scented body creams. I really liked Fresh's Milk cream, but my goodness, it's so expensive. And if we're honest, the scent wears off after not too long. So you know what? It's just good old Lubriderm in the extra large size. A while ago, I got really serious about using a lot of it, especially on my legs over the winter. It's made such a huge difference, and it's an inexpensive product, and it doesn't leave you feeling sticky. Yeah, expensive body cream, something that I don't buy anymore. Okay, now in the realm of beauty, something that I don't buy is lip liner. This is the last lip liner that I bought. It's a Revlon, one of these kind that you push up like that, and there's certainly nothing wrong with this. This is really nice if you wear a lot of red lipstick, but I kind of stopped wearing lipstick this year. I'm not like going for the clean girl aesthetic or anything like that at my advanced age. It's not that. I just found it just a fuss. The lip liner would be kind of starting to spread into the rest of my skin. You know, if you have aging skin, this kind of starts to happen. It would dry out my lips. So I've just stopped. I don't bother with lip liner. It's usually now just lip gloss. I'm learning to like live and accept my natural lip color, but I'm not gonna need another lip liner for a long time because for special occasions I would wear red lipstick. This is perfectly adequate. I have not bought one all year long, and I haven't thought about it either. Lip liners for me have never been a temptation product. Foundations have always been a high temptation product. So that one was very easy for me to just stop using altogether and buying. Another thing I stopped buying this year, mascara. But I want to be specific. I stopped buying waterproof mascara and I stopped buying regular mascara. Now I only buy tubing mascara, and I'm reaching back here for this number 7 Stay Perfect tubing mascara. I think that this is one of the best out there. I've used Blink. It's not as good. And it's only like maybe $10. I'm Canadian, you can't get this readily here, so I have to actually buy it through US Amazon to get it shipped up here. But it's like a $10 mascara. It's not expensive. It goes on nicely. It maybe doesn't have the lift that other mascaras do, but if you're like me and they tend to really just flake and smudge through the day, or it's impossible to get them off and you have these like panda rings around your eyes the next morning, try a tubing mascara. The way that these work is that they are waterproof. The way that you get these off is just with a little bit of like whatever facial soap that you're using. And I never get those little flakes, you know, those little flaky bits of mascara underneath, and I never get the smudges. So underrated. Nobody ever talks about this mascara, but it's ruined me for all the other mascaras. I don't bother buying any of them anymore. I just can't deal with the hassle of them. So another thing I've pretty much stopped using altogether is vitamin C serum. And I never thought I would come to see the day because of all the great benefits you're supposed to get out of this. Brightening, I think, being the key thing that people love about it. I have my LED skincare mask. I have my serum, my moisturizer, and that's pretty much it. That's what I've really whittled it down to. And I wasn't trying. Like, I'm very open-minded. I love trying products. I wasn't trying necessarily to whittle down my routine. At one point, I'm like, oh, I'm using so little, but my skin is actually looking pretty good. So yeah, no more vitamin C for me for now. I'm not saying forever, but I'm glad I don't have to buy it because, well, if you've bought vitamin C, you know it's expensive and it doesn't have a lot of shelf stability very often. So happy to not be purchasing this regularly anymore. I've had this bottle for a while now, so I will put it on once in a while, but it's not a regular part of my routine. Okay, we're now at number 7. The 7th thing that I completely stopped buying this year was contour. Any kind of contour sticks, contour powder. I'm not into it. I don't know what to say. As the months went by, I just got less interested in the contoured look. I don't think it was adding that much to how I look overall. I just was finding it a fuss. Sometimes I was not blending it properly because as I age, my eyesight is not as good as it used to be, if I'm completely honest. That's just a kind of look and a vibe I want to leave behind for the year 2026. Let me know. How do you feel about contour? Are you still wearing it? I've decided instead of blanking out my face with foundation and then adding back in contour, I just don't use as much foundation up where I would want to contour it. Does that make sense? So like I don't use it up here, which is somewhere I normally would have wanted to maybe add back a little color because the top of my forehead tends to be darker. And then I don't really bother going in there because I find that if I do an okay job with my blush, which I don't think I did today, but if I do an okay job with my blush and I get it placed high enough, it kind of naturally just shadows underneath and I don't need as much. So yeah, no more contour, you know, and that's probably a good $60 that I'm not spending over a year, which is great. Because the upside of all of this, of course, is that you're buying less. And it feels nice to get off that hamster wheel. Now that said, I get offered a lot of products here because I test products, I test makeup, but I've really made a big effort in a sort of move toward having a more easy, minimalist lifestyle to not accept the beauty products I don't think I am interested in. And that's most of them, by the way. So, you know, just say no has been a big part of what I do this year. And I just don't allow them into my house if I don't think I have any interest in using them or I'm skeptical about them. Merit released something that I love Merit products, makeup products, but they released something, I can't remember what it was, and they offered it to me. And I was like, no, I don't see myself ever using that. So that's a no for me, which felt nice. Okay, number 8 on my list of things I have no interest in, I've stopped using, and I don't regret at all is microcurrent devices. So we're talking your Nutone, we're talking your Zip. So true story, I did try using the Zip device, microcurrent device, because I was just curious, what is all the fuss about? I did not like the sensation of basically electrocuting myself in the face. I found it very unpleasant, and again, I'm kind of relying on my LED mask to be the device that I use regularly. I cannot use 2 devices on my face. I'm not that girl. I'm too lazy. So yeah, microcurrent devices, not for me, not at this point in my life anyway. Okay, 9, colorful eyeshadow palettes. I used to kind of get a kick out of these. I used to love purples. I used to get so excited when you'd see these beautiful palettes, like just the candy-like appeal of them would make me want to buy them, but I've stopped entirely. So I just have like one neutral Charlotte Tilbury quad and it's just neutral eyeshadow for me from here on in, and I don't miss, it's not that I miss ever having a colorful look, but I have some colorful palettes and I never go for them anyway, so why would I accumulate more? So goodbye colorful eyeshadows, which is kind of a shame because they remind me of like the fun makeup days on YouTube. If you think back to the big beauty guru era, it was always about this colorful eyeshadow palettes, but I've left those behind and I don't miss them even a bit. I have some and I don't even use those. Okay, the 10th and last thing I don't buy anymore, and that is powder. I don't powder my face anymore. I've gotten to the age where it just kind of doesn't look great. I think a better tactic instead of wearing a foundation and needing to powder it on top is just to pick a foundation that's maybe doing all of what you need so that you're not having that sort of dusty layer on top for me, because I'm finding it just kind of settles into lines and I don't know, I just don't need powder. Like my skin is not where I need powder. I don't know how else to describe it. When I do have a bit of shine, It's well controlled. It's like the right kind of shine. I like how it looks and I don't want to powder it down. So yeah, that was everything. I'm doing a little series on easy minimalism. If you enjoyed this, please do watch that other video or other videos. I don't know what it's out by this point. And do give me a like. Consider subscribing if you're new here. Drop me a comment just to say hi. We'll see you in the next video.